all the changes that happen in your body start with your nervous system, right? So you talk to most PTs, and what do? They're transitioning people to barbell and deadlift exercises, right? That don't have a direct functional improvement. You just get better at exercising, and it creates an indirect functional improvement. Why wouldn't you keep working on that functional improvement? Well, like I was saying before, the reason why I got into these systems early on, in my career that used all of these machines is because that's what they were designed for. They were only designed for functional improvement and not getting you better at exercising. Your exercising should be getting you better at the things that you want to transform into.
And tell us
Right?
how the Wobbler 360, the equipment that you've brought to the world and, partnered with, and also your new squat machine, the Up Squat, how they're superior. And also, from an entrepreneurial standpoint, all the entrepreneurs listening, how does a physical therapist go ahead and bring a product to market, right? A service-based business is hard enough, but I know there were a lot of new challenges that we've had. So give us a few insights and pearls on that.
Yeah. So, these machines and these pieces of equipment I have, they're all designed for a specific purpose, a specific functional transformation, right? Where a dumbbell is designed to do a million things, right? And well, maybe really designed to do one thing, is load you in a negative way that overloads your weak angle and whatever movement that you're doing. But the equipment that was designed by Mike Maddox was always designed to do something specific, which was to improve your functional performance. And if you're not really looking at functional performance and understanding what it is and trying to understand what it is, it makes it even more confusing. But everything that we do in function basically uses the entire body. So, one of the things that I joke around with people all the time, I'm like, well, where do you want to feel it when you're swinging a golf club? Is there a muscle that you want to feel it in? Do you want to feel it in a certain area? No. Those types of movements, it's almost you don't want to feel anything. You want to feel that sweet connection when you hit the ball, when you punch the bag, when you kick the bag, when you kick the ball. All these movements are really, what I talk about in the strong angle. It's this balancing point between the perfect harmony of tension and relaxation. Right. And that's also what we want in our lives. We need a little bit of tension and a little bit of relaxation in this balancing point that allows us to feel great and keep moving forward. But if we have too much tension, right, it creates too much stress. And if we have too much relaxation, we're going to be, laying on the couch watching movies all day. Right. So it's this balancing point of having this, I feel good, but I'm having enough strain to move us forward. And the equipment, particularly the Up Squat now, actually puts you in the perfect form to allow you to self-correct your body mechanics. And it allows you, and this is one of the things that I've also been talking about, is that we have length, width, and height, right? It's the 3 dimensions. And then you have time, which is the 4th dimension. Well, the 5th dimension is feel. Right. And feel is what allows you to self-correct. And we don't pay attention to that enough. And mostly coming back to nobody thinks about this, but this is a nervous system thing. When you go to pick up a dumbbell, it's literally your body feeling how heavy or how light that dumbbell is and then reacting to it. So we react to certain forces and resistances and speeds. Our body's constantly integrating that sensory information and trying to create some type of motor output, to allow you to have some certain effect. So the machines that he creates are all designed to give you this type of sensory feedback to allow you to self-correct your body and keep you in this perfect form. And the first thing that it does, and the first starting point on the training with the strong angle, is to help you correct your side dominance problem. So everybody knows this in the sports world, that eventually you have to learn how to do things with both hands, right? If you're all right-handed and you're a basketball player and you can't shoot or dribble to the left side, you're eventually going to get weeded out. But in biomechanics, this is this term that I have, ambikinetic, that I had to come up with because there is no word for it, means that you're using your whole body to do movements. And ambidextrous means that you're using both hands at the same time. Well, in the elite level athletes and the best movers, the reason why they have the best movement economy, the reason why they're the most powerful, is because they're able to use their whole body to absorb impact and create force, particularly during rotation. So, and what happens is, if my right shoulder turns back, right, and I'm going to bring my my right shoulder forward, my left shoulder and my left hip help my right shoulder to come forward. And literally every human functional movement works like that. Our body works as a whole unit. And when you can't see it that way, you end up isolating the body and putting it into these weak angles. And the interesting part is, in function, a lot of our isolation understanding actually happens when we have injuries, because there is no isolation in function, right? Function works as a whole. And the other part about it is, which you know that I'm going to come back to this, is that the body functions the best in the strongest angles. So these machines are designed to repetitively put you into the strong angle and allow you to keep self-correcting to get into that strong angle. And why it's so important is, when we are in the weak angle, it makes us inefficient, as I've already said. So adding speed and resistance, it basically makes us more inefficient. And ultimately, mentally, it also feels like anguish. And that's the beauty of the equipment that we have. Everybody gets off of it, and a lot of times they're smiling, or they have this sense of like, whoa, this is something I need. It feels good. And the wobbler particularly is actually really fun. And it's definitely the best, piece of balancing, cardiovascular exercise equipment out there. And the same with the up squat machine. It's the best piece of equipment out there right now for improving your leg strength, because when you're in this strong angle, it allows you to basically take all the friction off of your joints and allows you just to work your muscles in your core, in your body, in this united fashion where your whole body is absorbing the force and creating the force, just like we see in these athletic functional movements. Now, I hope that I was able to get that out there. That's why I wrote a whole book on this thing, because I could go on and on and on. The big thing about the equipment is that not only does it teach the trainer and the physical therapist what this stuff is, it also helps the client to self-correct and puts them into a bigger flow state, which is where we see skill acquisition. So when we think about fitness and exercise, we don't think about it as a functional skill. You're not thinking about it as a transformation. People run for fitness, but they don't run for skill all of the time. So if you're running for fitness, you're in the weak angle because you're not sure if you're actually going to be improving the skill of running. And that's the separation there. And it's not necessarily that it's all bad. It's just really inefficient. And then that's what it leads you in here to PT with pain and problems.
So
Sorry, I know that's long-winded. I hope I
no, that
answered
was
it.
awesome. So much good stuff. Let's take a minute and let everyone know, how we know each other. I mean, going back to, I guess, 2003, 2004, 2005, the good old days. We were just getting, preparing to start private practice, my wife Jody and I, and probably most of it was 2004 and onwards. Those first couple years, we knew we needed a lot of help. We didn't have any business training background experience. And fortunately, the private practice section of the American Physical Therapy Association had a pretty damn good meeting. And, we made a point to go. And you were there. What year do you think we met? What years did you go?
2007. So I remember that was the first year that I went, because I was still in grad school at the time. I was just about ready to graduate. And Bob Duvall, if you remember him from Sports Medicine of Atlanta, he was helping us with our doctorate program for our medical screening and pharmaceutical class and the imaging classes. And basically he was trying to cater me to go to residency, which is what I ended up doing. And he was like, "Hey, you should check out this private practice thing." So I decided to go, and that's where I met you.
Yeah, Bob Duvall, what an innovator, and direct access, and for physical therapists to be able to do medical screening, a real pioneer. And we were just gravitated to each other it was obvious, how passionate you were about the profession and sports performance and sports medicine and all those things. And it was
So let me give you a little nugget. I just spoke to him. We were talking about his involvement with your company, and and he told me that my wife and I were the only PTs that he's ever trained on all of this stuff that actually implemented it into their business. And one of the things that he used to talk about all the time, and this comes back to this whole strong angle thing, and I never like to live in fear. I don't know why people let it happen. It's a part of life, right? But we can strengthen ourselves so much to not live in fear. And Bob said the reason why we're not embracing direct access as PTs is because we fear retribution from our path dependency of the physician referral model. right? That we're going to not do the right thing because we're going to continue on the same path that's gotten us the same problems in our profession that we've had, which is one of the reasons why sometimes the APTA is so frustrating when it comes to outpatient orthopedic and private practice, is that they say they're going to do all these things. The vision statement is transforming the human experience through movement or whatever. It's like, yeah, right. What are we doing? We're doing the same thing that we've been doing forever, right? We're not transforming the human experience. I don't see that. We do the same thing as the medical model, and we get people back to normal, and then we say goodbye, right? Because we allow this physician referral insurance-based model to dictate everything that we're doing.